Good evening, and thank you very much for joining us this evening for the Social Services Committee meeting here Thursday, August 14, 2025, at the Lorraine H. Morton City Hall venue. We will be starting the meeting now because we are facing a quorum, and we are very pleased to have everyone online as well as in the audience. My name is Kathy Hayes, and we will start with a brief roll call for the quorum, if you'd be so kind.
Thank you. Chair Hayes,
Here.
Vice Chair Nagola,
Here.
Councilmember Harris,
Present.
Samantha Oldsfry,
Present.
thank you, and Ken Rowling.
Present.
Thank you.
Given that roll call, we do have a quorum, and we will start with public comment. Please understand and know that public comment, we have two sessions. This is the first one. We have some people online. Do we have anyone that is open for public comment at this time?
Nope, no online public comment.
Then we will proceed to the next thing, but understand that there is still an opportunity for public comment at the end of this meeting. Right now, we need to discuss and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting, which was a combination meeting with housing and development.
I move to adopt the minutes as drafted.
Second.
All in favor?
I have a question. I just have a
Oh, I'm so
question.
sorry. Go ahead.
And I apologize for just springing it. So we have members that are present, and then they're also listed as absent. So if you look at the packet, so for example, Councilmember Burns is listed as present, but then when you see HCDC committee members absent, he shows up again, and same for Lackey. So I'm just want us to be clear which way they fall for the records. And again, I know I should have brought this up earlier. I apologize.
Nope, thank you for pointing that out. Staff will make those corrections. I apologize.
And with those corrections pending, can we then have a review of the vote for the minutes that preceded? All in favor?
Aye, with corrections.
Aye.
Aye with corrections. Thank you very much. And those minutes have been passed. Well, ain't nobody said aye. Next, we have on our agenda new and old business, of which we are going to be talking about the 2025 Emergency Solutions Grant recommendation that has been brought forth by the staff as well as others.
I'm sorry, Chair Hayes, could I also get a vote on the regular meeting minutes? So we approved the joint, and then there's the regular.
I was so obsessed with the joint meeting, I forgot about the actual regular meeting for social services. Thank you. And I would like to have a motion to have those minutes entered into the record. Can I get a motion?
I so move. Or,
Yep, go for it. Second.
there we go.
All right.
With that, can we get a voice vote of all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, and those minutes will also be entered into the record. Thank you. Now we move on to new business, old business, and that is the 2025 Emergency Solutions Grant recommendation.
Thank you so much. So staff would like the committee to know Evanston has historically received the Emergency Solutions Grant. We did not receive this grant in 2024. We weren't anticipating this grant for 25, but we received it. We are very excited. The Emergency Solutions Grant is a very restrictive grant. It's a federal grant, and it can only be used for the 5 categories mentioned in the packet. 7.5% of the grant goes to administration, but the majority of funds are split between street outreach, homelessness prevention, rapid rehousing, and shelter operations. So I'm going to start with street outreach and shelter operations first. The grant can't exceed more than, we can't spend more than 60% of the grant on those 2 combined categories. It's usually a pretty small allocation comparatively. And then homelessness prevention and rapid rehousing both have a direct subsidy component, meaning a portion of grant funds can be paid directly to housing providers and to pay for utilities bills. So for income eligible households, they either have to be literally, they have to meet the homelessness definition for rapid rehousing funds, or they have to have an immediate housing crisis, like an eviction event, to be eligible for prevention funds. Agencies are also required to adhere to very stringent guidelines to receive the grant. Agencies have to provide 100% match funds for any monies received, which can be problematic for agencies. The grant is reimbursed after funds are paid, so agencies typically bill the city or invoice quarterly, meaning those agencies pay out those monies and then have to wait until the city reimburses. And then there are very robust programmatic and financial reporting requirements that those agencies have to comply with. In the past, the recommendation has been to provide a portion of funds for rapid rehousing as well as prevention. What we have seen in the community through our providers is that rapid rehousing is a harder subsidy for recipients to reach stability in Evanston's community because we are such a high housing cost area. And the majority of the requests come through prevention funds. Connections for the Homeless is our main recipient for rapid rehousing and prevention. There is flexibility, so funds can move between the 2 categories. And in the past, we've allocated, as you can see, about 15% to prevention and about 35% of our grant to rapid rehousing. And what has happened really since 2020 is that funds move from the rapid rehousing category to prevention. It's they aren't spent under rapid rehousing. So for the 2025 grant, staff is recommending that we put as much allowable funding as we can under homelessness prevention. If there are Evanston households that could use rapid rehousing, we could transfer funds back and forth, but the majority of the requests that Connections receive are for households experiencing an imminent risk of homelessness and using funds for prevention. Any questions? No.
It's very logical, and I'm grateful that we receive additional unexpected dollars. Always good news. I also think it's really important to just acknowledge where our housing costs are, and that where we can most effectively use these grants is truly prevention versus rapid rehousing. Because of that, And I'm grateful for your thoughtful, strategic approach from a staff recommendation, because that is what they say always, that a ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I think that's really important to just acknowledge that it's most important to just keep our existing community members in their housing. And that's where we can be most impactful and powerful. So thank you.
Yeah, turned on my light. So Connections and the YW are the only two places that meet the threshold of whatever. Can I take this down?
So yeah, those are our two biggest providers and have historically been recipients of these funds. So other homelessness providers in our area, Family Promise and Interfaith Action, work very closely with Connections, as does the Y, primarily for case management support. And so that is how people get onto the by names list and are eligible for subsidies. It's just, so the people don't have to go to many different places. Yep, we're consolidating those funds, but
And the Y, excuse me, the Y is because for shelter for women
yes.
and children. Yeah, okay. I just felt like there were some other places in Evanston but you mentioned it too, so, okay, thank you.
Was the matching funds a challenge for the other entities in Evanston, that handle? Because that's a big part of administration, being able to match grant funds that you receive.
That has been a challenge. The city used to work with the YMCA, the Men's Residency Program. They were a recipient of prevention funds in the past, but the YMCA changed their lease structure. So the residents are not on a 6-month lease or a year-long lease. They're on a month-to-month lease, and month-to-month leases aren't eligible for federal subsidies through this program. So that has been a challenge. Yeah.
That was my question, I just didn't want to name a place, I was like, well, no, you had to, why weren't they part of that mix?
Are there any other questions or conversations for the staff regarding this distribution of funding?
I do have one last one, I'm so sorry. So as Chair Hayes alluded to, you mentioned that the reimbursement becomes cumbersome because people don't have that money to front, right? If I had it, then I wouldn't be in trouble. And we're paying quarterly, you said, or?
That's correct. So Connections for the Homeless typically invoices the city at least quarterly.
And is that our procedure, meaning the city, or is that Connections? Could they bill us monthly if they found themselves in a position that they couldn't carry that? I'm just wondering.
No, that's a fair question. They could. The administrative burden for them became quite heavy.
Okay.
Yep.
But that
But
hasn't
it's a-
prevented them from providing services
No, that would not.
in
No.
their data. Okay. Or the why.
Correct, no.
Thank you.
Okay, so our call to action is if we will accept this recommendation that has been presented to us by staff, and if we, unless anybody has any other input or questions or want any more clarification. I am very happy we have this money too. I think it will help sustain and stabilize a lot of families that are teetering at this point for a longer period of time, up to 24 months. They would possibly be eligible for this until they can stabilize. And I think that's an important thing to note, especially since the requirement is 30% of income level for federal grants such as this, so, which is pretty high for those who are in this area because of many adding factors and so forth. So we would like those who reside in Evanston to stay in Evanston, and this might be one way that they can do that by interacting with these two entities, especially if they are in dire straits and in crisis of losing what housing they do have. So with
that, I move for an investment of over $150,000 in keeping Evanston families local and preventing homelessness.
Second. And this is accepting the grant, correct? Matching.
Accepting
ma'am.
the ESG grant, I probably said it all wrong.
No, I'm just
No, that's
checking.
okay. Accepting the allocation recommendation and recommending City Council approve. I'm so sorry. Yep, the 2025 Emergency
Emergency
Solutions
Solutions
Grant with allocations totaling $138,758 to two social service agencies, Connections for the Homeless and the YWCA. Yep.
Yep,
Second.
as Jessica said.
Thank you both very much. Given that we are on to the next issue, which is a staff.
We need to
sorry,
vote.
Oh,
a vote.
I am sorry.
We all
I'm so
disagree.
happy about the money. I get so excited.
Right, you just know no one's going to say
I'm
no.
like, no.
All on board, we
We're
just
all
need
on
to
board.
actually account for it.
Thank you very much for reminding me. If we could have a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Very happy eye.
And an ecstatic eye for me. All opposed? The ayes have it. We will proceed with this recommendation from, to City Council to fund this ESG recommendation. Thank you, everybody. I know we're all happy about Evanston people being able to stay in Evanston with these programs. The next item on our agenda is a staff report. Back to staff.
Yep, so this is just a brief overview. The city's application period for fiscal year 2026 case management and safety net funds opened. There were two parts to the application process. The first was a letter of intent form. So agencies just gave very brief information, the agency name, the name of their program, whether they were intending to apply under the safety net category or the case management category, and the amount of funds that they're requesting. Staff did have virtual pre-application meetings with applicants to let them know more about the process and then the reporting and compliance requirements that would be required to manage these funds. So we did have 20 agencies submit 25 applications. Several agencies applied under both the case management and the safety net categories. We had 5 new agencies. And let me take this moment to say, we're changing our process slightly. We're moving away. We used to give money for these services through a combination of local funds and our federal CDBG. The 15% that was we were able to allocate to public services. We're trying to use local funds exclusively, and so the city's budget has not been finalized. That will happen in November. So we will have more information about how much we have available to allocate prior to this committee making that recommendation. And we have new applicants, which is always exciting.
So as far as the budget, we don't have the budget yet finalized, but we do know what we've requested so far in the budget. And staff request has been to basically have flat funding for these allocation. It'll go through the process. As we know, there's a high need. So not finalized, but it should be the same amount as, there's no cuts. It should be the same amount as last year for case management and safety net.
So staff has an overview of the schedule, the hearing schedules for our next 2 months. We will hold hearing meetings in September and October. This is traditionally when agencies come to answer questions and to talk about the programs for which they're requesting funding. Staff tried to balance out the schedules. If we give everyone at a minimum of 10 minutes to talk, and usually that's a few minutes to present, but the bulk of the time should be reserved for SSE questions to the applicants. We're at 9 o'clock, 9:10 for both hearing nights. Staff also tried to balance the meetings so that agencies requesting under both categories came at their night. We're not trying to make agencies come to both meetings. And I did try and go in reverse alphabetic order this year, so books and breakfast won't have to be first, or connections. We'll give them a break. We have 2 other hearings. So the hearing meetings, the nice thing about the hearing meetings is all of our meetings are recorded and people can go back and watch the recordings. The next 2 meetings are meetings in November 13th and December 11th. Those will be our allocation discussion meeting, November 13th, and then our final meeting to decide allocation amounts. That will happen in December. So those are if you're going to, those are the meetings to attend. Please clear your calendars. Any questions? Once SSC sort of blesses the schedules, staff will let agencies know when their mandatory meeting time will happen. Let's see.
One of the things I wanted to kind of make sure we get some direction from the committee is, you can see there's a very busy schedule for that night, and we know we're likely to go over, at least in some conversation. That's just how it goes. Usually there's maybe a small short presentation from the agency. We can sometimes eat up quite a lot of time and not leave you as much time for questions. So I would maybe have you consider whether the presentation that was part of the application is enough, or whether it can be a very, very short presentation about the program specifically, so we can really focus on the question and keep the focus on the items that you want to know, particularly for taking notes for when the committee is going to have their conversation and wanting to get kind of to the core of what you're looking to hear, which can be hard to do.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. The flash and bang is nice, but the questions are what's essential. This is my first time, so we're going to ride the horse and understand how it works later. Do we have a set questions, like a set queue of questions? Because I'd hate to ask one agency something that we don't necessarily ask another one. Unless they answer it for us, then of course we didn't. So I didn't know if it's just, as with my council meetings, if I have a question, I ask that, or do we start with a pool of questions? So that's question number 1.
Yep. So I'm going to take a little minute to answer your question. Full applications are due August 22nd, and I will send those to, or excuse me, August 22nd. I will send those to committee members probably Monday as soon as I can. SSC approved evaluation sheets. So with each application, there is a standardized evaluation sheet for which you're reviewing. We don't typically have standard questions, but as questions arise from committee members, please email them to me in advance if that works, without, being respectful of everyone's time. I understand that everybody's busy. But if committee members can email questions to me, I can pass those questions along to the agencies prior to the hearing meeting, which helps them prepare. In the past, we've sort of put some deadlines around this. One of the reasons we set the schedule and that the schedules are in the packet is so that committee members know who's coming to talk to us sort of in the beginning. Yep. Oh, sorry. Okay. So you can, take a look at those applications first and prepare your questions, and then who's coming in October.
My second point, I will be traveling for work October 9th, taking students to a conference in DC. I'm hoping because of the late hour, I'll be able to join in virtually, and which is acceptable by the state statute because I'm working. But I think I heard you say they will also be recorded so that I could catch up if I needed. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And if you wanted to, send your question. If you have any questions for the agencies that are coming in October, please feel free to let me know and we can see that they're.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to inform my colleagues in advance that I won't be. I think I told you already I had a conference, so I just always want to be ahead of the curve. Thank you.
I understand. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for that, Councilwoman. So that will require that we have an in-person quorum. So to ensure that, very understandably, the Councilwoman will not be able to attend in person, but just to underscore the importance that those who can attend in person do, because we do have a very tight schedule.
Absolutely.
And I think that's just, I want to underscore that, and just, I appreciate laying out the schedule for the rest of the year so that we all know the opportunities we have before us, the importance of the work we have before us, to attend. If you have public comment or thoughts, these are the meetings to come to share that with us as a committee so that we can offer a recommendation that incorporates those thoughts to council rather than having thoughts shared in council that are brand new to us as a committee member. And so I just want to thank you, much like we discussed, I believe, last year and the year before, of we are going to be really thoughtful in laying out to the community the work we're doing to invite that participation. So I just want to thank the staff, because I know it's not easy. It's a lot of work to draw out a schedule and to say, we are asking you to show up and attend through 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. But I think the work we do is important, and that we will show up and do that work. And thank you for giving us that expectation. And I think all of us as council members need to show up and make sure that our council member who needs to be in DC for very important work, that we'll have that quorum to have those votes appropriately. So thank you.
Thank you.
So just for clarification, will you as staff have any discussions with any of these applicants prior to the September meeting? Or will we be the first ones to have a discussion with them around their application?
Oh, no, staff will not be, short of discussing logistics, when they're showing up to the meetings, roughly when their meeting times are, and passing along any questions that the committee might have. That's the extent of staff's.
So do you have discussions with them after then, as you, like if you hear questions in that session that need to be resolved with any one of the organizations, then you have those conversations after that? After we have at it with them, right? I mean, it sounds like the first conversations that they will have with anybody who's going to make a recommendation on their application is at the September meeting for the first set of people and at the October meeting with the second set of people. So you don't check in on their data if it doesn't look right or if there's questions about on their evaluation. You don't do any of that until after we've had at them?
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah,
I now understand.
Right.
Yes.
You can hear my concern. I mean, if I'm going to be sitting up here saying, wait a minute, you only had 3 people through your program, if that's the first time they've been asked about that, are we going to be like grilling them in public, you know?
So staff will provide recommendations for the applications. Historically, staff has provided a summary of each application that is in the packet, publicly available. Agencies can read staff's recommendation prior to the meeting.
Prior to this meeting, to the September, okay.
Correct. So any concerns that we might have, that we might flag, we will be very transparent
Gotcha.
about those concerns. So not only will agencies have the opportunity to come at the hearing meetings, and they can submit responses, certainly after the hearing meetings. Agency representatives can also come to the November and the December meetings.
Good. I'm just recalling my first meetings, those marathon meetings that were a mishmash of issues, and it was hard to how do you sort through all of those issues when, anyway, okay.
You know what? The committee worked really hard on the evaluation sheets. So the goal is that the committee members will have the applications, the evaluation sheets, the FaceTime with the agencies, staff's input. We'll all grill them graciously, recognizing the excellent work that they all do in our community. But we will have our questions. And then, 2 meetings to talk about allocation recommendations.
Just one piece. If you can recall, we did have some long nights about those conversations, and Jessica promised us that she'd be very transparent with us and include us in on those at the editing parts of it, because you can't. I like to get a day-to-day picture from every agency and what that looks like with where the money's going. I'm really big on that, especially since I'm still in that industry. And case management is, as you all know, is really important to me. But if y'all recall those long nights, she did say, I'm gonna say the word promise again, that she would share it with us and have us be as involved as we can. We did go over that, if y'all recall, a couple of those long nights.
So as we all understand, the work that the agencies do is very important to the quality of life of our residents, as well as the allocations that we're trying to go forth with. We do this in a positive spirit of trying to help all of our community holistically, and many of these agencies represent that type of work. So definitely, as my colleague said here, we definitely need to be here those days, and we definitely need to review these agencies with that in mind. I understand the elephant in the room is that we really don't know where funding will come from in the future for many of these organizations and many of these residents. So the work we do here is paramount to many families and individuals, of how they'll be able to not only live in Evanston, but live in a quality of life that is respectful. So I thank you all in advance for the hard work that we have to do, because it is not easy saying no. We've had that experience where we've had to say no to some people, and it is not easy. We do not take that lightly. And we are very committed to trying to the mission of the Social Services Committee to actually address those issues and well-being. So please don't take a vacation during those days if you can, except for except for one. Except for those who have to travel for work. And thank you so much for taking the extra time to try to help us out with this, even though you will be traveling for work. It is everything to these agencies. It's even more everything to the attendees that they address, the clients that they address. And it is a very serious thing. I see you. You have another statement?
I do. I think it's important to note, like, the work that we're going to do on those meetings, like, it's just hard, and it's just going to take hours, and it's not because staff didn't prepare us but like, we've real questions of the agencies, and we appreciate the work they do, and we have limited resources. We would love to say yes to all of them, right? Like, I think in our heart of hearts, we would love to say yes to them, and we would love to say, and more. Like, wouldn't that be great? We appreciate the work they do. They make Evanston better. They make our little corner of the universe a better, brighter spot, and we're so lucky to live here. We can't. Like, our resources are limited, and so we don't get to do that. And so we know the meetings are going to be long, and they're not going to be perfect. But we know that everybody comes with an open heart and a deep appreciation for this beautiful city. And so I just want us to all come with that spirit, and I think we will. I know we will, because that's how we've always operated as a committee. But it's going to be late nights. I wish it wasn't, but like, bring some trail mix, because we're going to need it, and your patience. And I say that to the agencies too. Like, we know it's probably not ideal, but we appreciate you answering our questions and doing the work you do day in and day out. This is just a blip, tiny blip of the work they do.
Yeah, just to be clear, we don't need a quorum. We're not going to be making decisions on September 11th and October 9th for those two meetings. Those are really hearings, right? The critical thing, the quorums are needed for November 13th and December 11th, right? That's when we actually make decisions.
Correct. It would be helpful to have a quorum
No,
in October, so that if Councilmember Harris can attend virtually, she's able to do so.
Right, because
Because
if we
we'll
don't
have
have a
an
quorum, she
in-person quorum.
can't. And then we get into a
Correct.
different issue.
Right.
Wait, if we don't have a quorum, she cannot.
Attend virtually.
But
There needs
there's
to
not
be,
any
based on,
decisions being made, right?
right, but the decision, the vote would be on whether remote participation is allowed. So that's the one vote,
Right.
right? But yes, you're correct. The hearings, the two hearings in September and October are really the time of exchange with the applicants, and then the core conversation around decision making is around November and December.
Well, and the reality is I can still attend. I can't make comments. I can't do those kind of things, but I could just be watching if we didn't have the quorum. So it's just a matter of being able to vote.
Any other questions or comments or input from our members? What time is it? I know, we are so on track. Thank you all very much for your attention. So at this time, my question is, do we accept this scheduling regarding from October all the way to December? Or should October to December is. I think we need, no, we don't. Does anybody have any comments on if
Can you back up 2 sheets? I thought I saw something. Before that, I think I saw some dates, no?
That one?
I didn't see dates? Mm-hmm. Oh, no. There it is. There was that one.
That last one?
Yes, that's what I was looking for, that December one. She might have put it in the email too.
Oh, okay.
As it says
it's
12/8. I thought it said 18. That's my bad.
So the dates that you're referring to, thank you, at the bottom, we mentioned briefly the evaluation sheets. So final applications are due Friday. Staff will be able to send the applications with the evaluation sheets to committee members as soon as we can. Staff does ask that if there are questions that you can submit in advance, please email me and do so. We don't have to have deadlines. The only other thing, this is not a vote, but this is just to put on the committee's radar, is the returning of those evaluation sheets. So the evaluation sheets had 3 sections. The sections that SSC members fill out around the services and the work that the agencies do, those questions are weighted, they're scored. They're not weighted, they are scored, correct? Sorry, caught myself there, Marion. There is a staff evaluation, and that staff evaluation does not have any points associated with it. But should committee members return those evaluation sheets, what staff has historically done is take the average for each question and the average scores, and the committee has used that as a foundation for the discussion. If members would like to do that, if staff could get those evaluation sheets back either prior to the November meeting, that would be our first deadline, and I can send this out, or depending on, respectfully, everybody's schedules, prior to the December meeting, so that staff can compile those evaluation sheets and understand the scores associated. We can talk about that.
I do have a question.
Sure.
I'm sorry, you all, I'm just difficult. As I look at my schedule, November 10th, I will be out of the country, and that's not permissible.
I'm so sorry. That was just the November 10th was just the suggested date to return the evaluation sheet so that staff could have that information ready for the packet.
Gotcha.
But the actual meeting, thank you so much for asking, is Thursday, November 13th. Yes.
Okay, I'll be back then, okay. Phew. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And then December meeting is Thursday, December 11th.
Yeah.
December 11th, yes,
December 11th. Oh,
I will be here. Okay, thank you. I'll be, yes, okay, I'll be back.
or else you'll take us all with you, is that it? I thought I heard
I'm
say
kind of
that.
scared to go out the country with the state of the world right now and not be able to get back, but sure, come with me. I'll give you my flight itinerary.
Thank you so very much. So again, our major dates are November 13th, which is a Thursday, as well as December 11th, which is also a Thursday. And those are the dates that we will be trying not only review but allocate funding to the different agencies, whether it's Safety Net or what's the other one? Counseling. I can't even think. Case management, thank you. I said counseling, my goodness. Case management, to make sure that we can get a clear understanding of what the organizations are trying to achieve with the limited amount of money that we have, funding we have this year. Any other questions or comments? Please feel free. I'm a little scared because I know we had a bet. I said 8:30, she said 8 o'clock. We seem to be zooming along. Oh, my gosh, I'm scared.
Well, let's not hold on till 8:30 just for the bet.
I know, right? I know, right?
It's a win-win situation.
It's a win-win situation for all of us. Now that we have discussed that and everybody's kind of clear, if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact staff to clarify any issues. I hope that we will be, by doing that, that'll make us proactive in dealing and working with staff as well as these agencies. It will probably be helpful, very helpful on that part. Does that conclude your presentation?
Yep, that concludes the presentation. It also covers my staff report. And that's what I wanted to get across. So
Thank you very much for your presentation and your staff report. It has been quite helpful, knowledge-wise. Next on our agenda,
Well, do we have to accept it? Do we have to move and accept your report? To place
Good
on
question.
file?
it is accept and place on file.
Okay. Step to move.
cool beans.
I move for the acceptance of the report.
Second.
All in favor for acceptance of the report, vote by saying aye.
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 All opposed? The ayes have it. And once again, thank you, staff, for all your diligent work. The next thing on our agenda is public comment. Is there anyone online that is interested in requesting public comment? Do we have anyone online? Oh, we have 3 people. If so, please acknowledge your question by raising your hand in the chat. Seeing that there is none online and there is not, is there any in the room or that was signed up on the list? Okay, now I'm really getting scared. If I see, oh my goodness. Therefore, there is no second public comment. I am going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and your appreciation.